second semifinal will be Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy. The Sugar Bowl, the second semifinal, Texas and Washington. Right here, we've got Texas 4-point favorites, 63.5 the total in this game. I remember I thought maybe Washington would meet their maker against Oregon, and they surprised me 34-31, beating the Ducks. Remember, everyone said Oregon's going to get them, and what are we missing here? An undefeated team getting 9.5, 10 points in that Pac-12 championship game, and sure enough, Washington still took care of business. They were the better team, start to finish, over Oregon. And now here they are catching points again, and the money for the second straight game is flooding in. Well, not flooding in, but there has been some Texas money because they opened, 3.5, and it's up to 4 now in this one. This is a tough one for me. I'm done betting against Washington right now, especially with them being the underdog in this game. I think we got to give them their due. Kalen DeBoer is a hell of a coach. I know there's people that say their defense is a little bit vulnerable. I don't know. I see the defense make plays when they have to. Do they give up points? Yes. Do they give up yards? Yes. They make plays when they have to with the game on the line. And then, of course, they got a guy that at the quarterback position has played almost as good as anybody else in the country, and Michael Penix Jr. There's no question about that. Now, look, Texas looks like a freight train here down the stretch. I will not take that away from them. Really, since the Oklahoma loss, their only loss of the season, they've been excellent. They've crushed BYU, beat Houston, beat Kansas State, beat TCU. A couple of close games there, but then down the stretch really amped it up, destroying Iowa State, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship game. Quinn Ewers is playing at a high level. He's playing excellent football down the stretch. Numbers are outstanding. And I know, look, when you look at the situation here for Texas, I know their main running back is out, but they've still got C.J. Baxter and Jaden Blue capable at that position. I know there's a questionable tab besides Xavier Worthy at receiver, but I think he'll have enough time to be ready to go for this game. Adonai Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell, as they call him, should be good to go. It's Texas playing great. There's no question. This is the Sarkisian Bowl, you could say as well, because Sark with Texas and one of his previous head coaching spots was Washington much earlier in his career. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic here with that. But this is one where I think you look at the matchup. This Washington team, I love their offense. They really have they really been stopped by anybody this year? I mean, the Arizona State game was a weird anomaly where they only scored 15 points, but they were off that huge win against Oregon. I kind of think they were, just off their game a little bit based on the spot. Other than that, this offense has been almost like a machine, where they've scored big points in every game. The Oregon State game, remember, was bad weather. The Washington State game that they won in the Apple Cup, the weather wasn't great there either. In good weather environments, and obviously you're going to get good weather here. This is indoors, in Mercedes-Benz or Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans. So that weather ain't going to be an issue. Fast track. There's no reason to expect Michael Penix Jr. not to play well. There's no reason for their offense, to expect them to not play well. With Dylan Johnson running the ball with an outstanding. And what's great about Washington too? They got Jalen McMillan back before the Pac-12 championship game against Oregon. He was like their second best receiver after Odunze. So now you've got that tandem together again for the second straight game. Jalen McMillan and Rome Odunze. And that is going to be a big time challenge for Texas's defense. Texas's defense played really well down the stretch, but Iowa State, an inconsistent Texas Tech offense, and Oklahoma State, while those are nice defensive performances, this is a better offense by far, hands down, not even close, that you're playing here, taking on Washington. So I actually lean dog. I lean Huskies. I like this over. I really do like that because I think both of these offenses are peaking at the right time. I mean, we just saw Texas score 49 and 57 in their last two games. I think based on the playing conditions indoors at the Superdome, it's realistic to expect Washington to get into the 30s. I think Texas has 30s potential in this game. So we've got a really good chance, I think, to get over 63.5. So I lean Washington, and I like the total even more, over 63.5 here in the Sugar Bowl. Conor, what do you think here? The second semifinal. Is Texas going to be too much for Washington, or are betting markets and odds makers combined disrespecting Washington yet again?
I think they're disrespecting Washington. Again, on the total, let's just talk about that real quick. As of now, I'm just off because I think we'll see this is 63 a lot of places. Does it get a little bit lower? I'm gonna wait on that till this game. I think I move on the total if I'm gonna move on it at all. I want to go back to last year. I love breaking this down with Oregon game. These teams played in the Alamo Bowl last year. 27-20, Washington. A lot of the same
True.
players
Yep. Yep.
in this
Good.
game. And Ewers here, he was good, 369. Texas only had 51 on the ground, 420 total. They only had 20 points. They had some stalled drives. I think he missed a field goal. They didn't have any turnovers. Washington, 445, 369 in the air, 158 on the ground. That's the key. They did that against Oregon, which I didn't can watch. If they run the football like that, they had 157, against Oregon. They're right around there. They're in this game, they win it. Like if they only run for 50 yards, they're in trouble. But if they get to that number, not only they're in this game, they could win it. So I know there's a little revenge. Texas, big school, everything. I think it's a good game, but I got to be on the dog here with the Huskies.
Yeah, great job. Remember, I totally skipped over that in my look into this game, getting ready for the show. I had totally forgotten. Didn't even look into it. Totally had forgotten they played each other in a bowl game last year. The Alamo Bowl, these two teams. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. I'm pulling it up now. Yeah, 27-20, nothing fluky. Washington outgained Texas 445 to 420. Held them to just 51 rushing yards in that bowl win last year. So everything Texas did on offense was Ewers through the air, 369 through the air in that game. They had a little bit more balance. Remember, they had a Taulapapa running the ball last year. They had a little bit more of a diverse attack last year on the ground, Washington. They're not as good running the ball this year. They're more of a pass-heavy team this year. But again, that pass.
But I was surprised how well they ran against Oregon. Everyone's talking about this Oregon defense, and they won at the line of scrimmage. That's why I liked Washington before. Well, as soon as I saw that, I bet it right away again on that first drive. Bet Washington right away again when I saw that.
I think people disrespected their ability a lot in the trenches a little bit going into that Oregon game. Saying Oregon's really going to be able to push them around, and that didn't happen. It was Washington that was basically stamping and cementing their dominance physically in the trenches along the line of scrimmage at the point of attack. And I think that's what a lot of people really were surprised with watching that Pac-12 championship game unfold. And that's why I think they're in this game. Like we're just asking Washington to compete here with Texas. And there's nothing to me that indicates they can't go toe-to-toe with the Texas Longhorns. Again, a team they beat last year in a bowl game, 27-20. Washington beat them in a bowl game. So yeah, I mean, that's exactly why I said for me. I took my lumps and I licked my wounds betting against Washington. I fell into that narrative that they were lucky to beat Oregon the first time. Oregon's rolling right now. They're going to come back in the Pac-12 championship and beat the hell out of them, and it didn't happen. In fact, Washington was just the dominant team, especially physically in the trenches, start to finish. So that's enough for me to say, you know what? We're done betting against Washington. We're either on them or we're passing this game. From a side perspective here in the Sugar Bowl, the second semifinal, which should be a great game. Looking forward to both